Alright, so you want to install Linux, but you don't know how. Alright. I'm going to do this shit in a virtual machine. It should walk you through the steps. I'm going to do it for Ubuntu, which is the gateway to Linux. I'll do a video on Arch later. But if you're new to Linux, go to Ubuntu, go to a Debian-based distribution. Arch Linux, you're going to waste 7 hours trying to set up basic programs until you finally get the hang of it. Alright. Okay, typically you're going to be met with a grub screen. Typically you have to go to your BIOS in order to do this, but you just go into, if you have your system dual booted, you'll have grub. It's just it's a bootloader, meaning if you're dual booting, you can switch between your operating systems easily through this. So I'm going to install. It's going to load it. Ubuntu has a graphical install, so it's a lot easier. Same with most Debian distributions. Arch does not, however, some Arch-based distributions do. Like EndeavourOS has one, Manjaro has one, although I would not recommend that with KDE. If you're going to use Manjaro, use it with XFCE or GNOME. Also, another thing with Linux, KDE Plasma does not work well with multi-monitor setups, so if you have one of those, use X11. Alright, I have that shit backwards. Use Wayland for that, but don't use Plasma for a multi-monitor setup. It'll just break. It's not going to break your operating system or anything. It's just going to make it to where one monitor doesn't show up, and or it's going to constantly freeze. Manjaro is terrible with multi-monitor setups. Ubuntu should work right out of the box. Alright, so we're inside the install. Uses GNOME. Okay. So typically you'll be brought up with this window. Let's give it a bit to load. And I'm going to, okay. Gotta let it load. Be back with you whenever it loads. Okay, it's back. Alright, so for me, I'm going to set it to English. If you're from, like, you know, set it upon your, set it to your native language. For me, that's English. Okay. Accessibility settings. You got your screen reader, reduce animation, all that stuff. Hearing, visual alerts, I'm going to keep that off. Typing, you can turn off your sticky keys, slow keys, pointing and clicking, mouse keys. You can enable desktop zoom, press next. Make sure your keyboard layout is set to your country's layout for keyboards. So for mine, I'm in the US, so it will be English US. If you're in Britain, it will be English UK. If you're in South Africa, it would be English South Africa. You know which one you are. So for me, type in test. Okay, that's working. Connect to the internet. I'm gonna use wired connected, but you would just click. It would, if you're using this on your main system, it would give you an option to set up your wireless settings here, or if you're using Ethernet like I am, you use wired connection. Press next. An update is available for this installer. I'm not going to do that just because I don't want to have to go through this thing. This is a up-to-date one. It's probably just like one version below, solely because I installed this ISO a couple days ago from Ubuntu's website. What's next? You can try Ubuntu if you want, or you can install Ubuntu. I'm going to install it. You can press try to like test it out to see if you like it, see if it's for you. But I'm going to install it. You can do interactive installation or the automated installation. I'm going to do interactive just because I like to see what it's going to be doing. So there's the essentials, which is the default selection, and there's extended selection and offline friendly selection of office tools, utility, web browser. See, I'm going to do the default selection. However, if you are into office work and you want to use Ubuntu as your primary operating system for your office work, this one would be the one that you select. You can install, I would advise installing your drivers through this. So it will be these options that you would select. You just press next. So you would erase your disk and install Ubuntu, or you could do a manual one if you want to dual boot it onto the same SSD or hard drive or whatever storage you really have. For me, I'm going to erase the disk because this is a virtual machine. You can select advanced features to tell it what you want to do. You can encrypt it, you can do anything you want, but I'm not going to use this for anything, so I'm just going to press erase disk and install Ubuntu. Create your name. Next press. I'm gonna set this to the default fucking password for most Debian distributions, like Parrotsec or Kali, which is Tor. So you can it's either gonna be root or Tor. You can do whatever password you want. Just make sure you have that written down, because if you do, you are shit out of luck and you will not be able to get back into it unless you know what you're doing. So make it something easy that you are going to remember. If it's a weak password and it's not going to let you, just add. I'll do Tor 11. You can turn off require your password. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to press next. You're going to select your area. So for me, I'm going to select the New York area because I'm in the eastern of the United States, so that's the time zone I'm in. So you're going to hit next. It's going to tell you what it's going to do with your disk. And you press install. Ubuntu is extremely easy. This is why it's the gateway to Linux. Now, GNOME is a really good desktop environment to use. It's what I use as my main desktop environment on Arch. But you're just going to let this go through. Okay, so we're back in Ubuntu. The install media is still here because obviously it's a virtual machine. I'm not able to remove the USB stick because there is no USB stick. So if that does ever happen to you, you just unplug the USB stick after turning off your computer, then you turn it back on, and it should boot right into the operating system. So you got your files here. Got all that. Downloads, music, pictures, videos, trash. Basic file system. Change your background. As you can tell, it is literally It is exactly like how a normal operating system is. It's not something that's really difficult to do, not something difficult to use. You got your App Center, which is your Flatpak center, which is going to allow you to install stuff. You got Steam right off the bat, which launching stuff in Steam is very easy. You got Discord, you got Minecraft, you got Zero AD. That's a pretty good game. You got Blender for your. Say you want to do some 3D software, well, 3D art, Blender. You want to make manga, cartoons, fucking animation, anime, comic books. You got Kirita right there. Keep in mind, Kirita is free. Unlike on Steam, for some reason you have to pay for it there. But nightly, you got development. So you got Visual Studio, Subcrafters, PHP Storm, PyCharm, PowerShell. Let's see what else we got. Data Grip. You can tell you have pretty much everything that you need. You got Ruby, Productivity, Chromium, really good browser. Brave, also another really good browser. Recon, Firefox, Mailspring, LibreOffice, Opera, OnlyOffice. As you can tell, you just have a lot of stuff on here that you can use. You go over to the game section. You got RetroArch right off the back. It that's an emulator for classic games. You got DOSBox. You got stuff for game development, like you got Godot, which is a game engine. You got a graphics editor called Inkscape. Same with GIMP, Blender, Kirita, as you already know. You got stuff for content creation, Discord, OBS, Kdenlive. You got additional resources, which is like Wine, which allows you to run Microsoft stuff on here. Say you have a program that only works on Windows, you can run it via Wine. There's ProtonDB, which is the game compatibility database, which allows you to play Windows games on Linux via Steam. Unreal Engine, so you can do a lot of game development here. Gaming on Linux. Got Unity. Crowdsourced anti-cheat status for Linux. So are we anti-cheat yet? ProtonGE is a compatibility tool for Steam. You got Game Mode, which is an optimizer. You have GNOME Games. So this is basic stuff. Like you got GNOME Mines, which is just Minesweeper. Sudoku. Another Minesweeper. You understand. The only game launcher that you have on here though is Steam. It's not that bad. It's gonna get updated once Epic Games allows people to game on Steam. So you also come up right out the bat with Thunderbird Mail. It's just an email service. So like you can do here, put your email, your username, password. I'm not gonna do that. Exit. Close that. Firefox. Skip this step. Skip that step. Don't really need all that. Skip that step. As you can see, basically, Firefox is a good browser just because it allows you to have pure freedom. It works right out of the box. It just works. You got your help section. Say you need something, say you don't know how to do something, you got a section that's going to tell you what to do and how to do it. You got your show apps option. It's going to tell you what you have installed. So I'm going to open up the terminal. So how you install something is sudo apt install. Say I want to do console, so different terminal. Oh, different terminal emulator. It's gonna read the package list. Press yes to install it. See, console is the terminal emulator for KDE Plasma. I don't like KDE Plasma with multi-monitors, but there is one thing that no one can deny is its console is pretty nice. Its terminal is nice. Especially with the customizability features of it. So as you're installing it, it's gonna give you a progress bar while it's loading everything. Linux is good in this feature as in you're able to do pretty much anything you want with it. You don't have a limit on what you can and can't do with it compared to application, or compared to operating systems like Windows where you need third-party softwares. So if I type in console, there we go. This is the KDE console. Open menu, create profile, appearance, just change it however you like it, and get new. For me, I like the solarized, but I'm gonna edit it. Cancel, background transparency, apply. I'm gonna change that to about that. Apply, there we go. And apply. There we go. So NeoFetch is just it's not being updated because it's a developer decided to quit programming and become a farmer, and so he took up farming. But you can add that to your bash directory, so it will show up here automatically by going into your settings. Actually, no, wait. You go into your files. You're on your home. So, let's see. Okay. So, in order to change this to where it adds that to it, I'm going to click on bash CRC. Just going to scroll down. Not fast fetch, we're using NeoFetch. File, save, close that, if I am not mistaken. There we go, right off the bat. Also, you can switch back to the profile that you had done previously, and then you can edit that profile. General. Okay, hang on. Switch profile. No, wait. Settings. Figure console. Profiles. There we go. Set as default. Now, every time you open up that console, it'll always pop up with that. Alright, that's how you install Ubuntu. Pretty self-explanatory. Very easy to do. Works right out of the box. Control H is to unhide your files. So that's how we're able to get these to show up, because these are hidden files. Press Control H, it actually shows them. You press it again, it hides them, so on and so forth. Alright.